Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sam. I'm a homemaker, DIYer, thrifter, and homeschooler. Today I'm taking you behind the scenes of recovering my ottoman. So as you can see behind me, this is the ottoman that I'm going to be showing you how to recover. This is not a step-by-step DIY video just because I fumble over my words a lot, as you'll be able to tell in this video, but I just wanted to show you guys how I do things and just how I remake things just for fun, just to change things up once in a while. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a thumbs up and give me suggestions on what you'd like to see in the future. I'd love to know from you guys. So I'm gonna show you how to take this ottoman from this to this. So I'm just making a new cover for it. I'm not gonna actually be taking the cover off, but I just wanted to show you guys a simple way to redo it. So I'll show you guys all the supplies that I have. This is the ottoman that I'll be redoing. Just excuse the mess there. I'm just working on finishing up my bedroom, but this is the ottoman. I don't want patterns really in my room, so I'm just going to be recovering it. So then I also have the material that I will be using to recover it. I would suggest, if you're recovering something, to use, I'm completely blanking on what the word is, but it's a thicker material. Just because I'm going to be using this at home, I didn't think that it was that big of a deal and I could just use what I have here. I have this in my basement, so I figured I would at least try it and see how it holds up, and if it doesn't, then I'll make a new one. So I have the material. I have a large paper roll so that I can make a pattern. I have a marker to trace it out. I have scissors for my paper, scissors for my material, scissors for cutting threads, measuring tape, fabric measuring tape, just to get the size and everything that I need for the pattern. I'm going to be using cord. I was thinking of using elastic, but I decided to use cord instead to just secure underneath to hold it together. So I'm going to be using this macrame cord instead of elastic, and then I just have these clasps or clips to just hold it together, so that I'm not having to use elastic and not having to tie it. So those are the supplies that I have, and I will show you guys from here. So to start making the pattern, I'm going to get my roll of paper, and I'm going to flip my ottoman onto its upside down. So if you guys can see here, it's just upside down. There's enough room on all sides that I'll be able to trace the full thing around it. I'm going to leave probably about, I would say, 1/2 inch to 3/4 inches just around the edges to make sure that I have enough room for the seam allowance. Okay, so I have the top piece cut out. So now I'm going to measure the sides of the ottoman. Okay, so I'm going to measure all the way around and then cut that measurement in half so I have 2 panels. And I'm going to add probably about 1 inch of length on the bottom, plus 1/2 inch for the, maybe not quite so much, 1/2 inch for the top for the seam allowance. 59 and like not even 1/4 inch, like a 1/16 inch. So I will cut that in half so that I have 2. So take that measurement against this measurement here. Okay, so then just measure it from here to here, and that's pretty much exactly 7 inches. So then I will add a 1/4 inch at the top, just so that I'll have room to flip the fabric over to create a seam, as long as I have enough material. So here I just wrote it down. I'm going to do 59.5 inches around just to add some seam allowance. And then I'm going to do 9.5 inches tall. That should be more than enough to create a little band at the bottom. Okay, so just to show you guys, I just made a couple marks 9.5 inches up, just along that top line there. I made a corner so that I know where to cut. So now I'm going to cut out the pattern. And I have also decided to line this with interfacing because it's such a soft material. I am worried that it will not be sturdy enough. For a stool that I'm gonna sit on, I just want to make sure that I have something as sturdy as possible. So I will also use my patterns to cut out 2 pieces of this of interfacing and then 1 of that of interfacing as well. So I'm going to cut my fabric now. The word I was looking for before was upholstery fabric. So I do actually have some. I brought up my interface and then my upholstery fabric because I don't like this pattern and I bought so much of it. So I'm going to use it over top. So I'll show you how I serge those pieces together. But now I'm going to cut pattern pieces for the interfacing and the upholstery fabric. Okay, so now I have 3 layers of fabric. I have the original top fabric. This is going to be my right side. And then my interfacing that is ironed on. And then I have my upholstery fabric underneath. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take all of these 3 pieces and I'm going to serge the upholstery fabric to this fabric so that it's like one sheet. If you're just using upholstery fabric or a thicker fabric, you don't need to do this step, but I just am because I want extra security to make sure that it doesn't get ripped easily or anything like that. Okay, I'm switching to my sewing machine because I serged around all of the edges. So now my edges are going to be good. You can see it's got 3 sides here. I just switched the thread to black. I'm going to first sew the 2 long pieces together, one side first, and then just make sure that the other side, that I have enough length. So I am putting my right sides together and I am doing 3/8 inches, actually a 1/2 inch margin here. Now I have it all sewn together, the two sides, so it's like a circle. I have to pin it around, right sides together, and make sure that it actually fits. If not, I will have to re-sew my sides. All right, I put it over top of the ottoman inside out. This I made quite a bit too big, and this is perfect sizing. So I'm going to just cut that down a little bit and see if I can get it to fit better. But this is a good way just to test out if it's the right size. So what I've done here is just, I could feel this piece around the edge of the entire top. So I've just marked around all of it. I'm going to sew just a zigzag stitch around like I was serging, just because I unplugged my serger now. So then I'm going to cut the extra off, and then I'm going to pin it to the outside fabric and sew that together. So I'm going to pin all around while keeping it on top of the ottoman or the stool, and then as long as it lines up and everything fits, I will go ahead and sew around. So here it is, all pinned. It's pretty much a perfect fit. Like, I have a little bit of overlap that I'll probably just tuck over because I don't feel like cutting more off, but yeah, I'm gonna go and stitch it. Right, I'm gonna see if it fits now. I'm hoping it'll be a perfect fit because it fit perfectly on the sewing machine. And then if it is, I'll just do a little bit of top stitching as long as there's no bunching anywhere. I'll slipe it there, but I will just go back over it and do any top stitching that it needs. And it is a perfect fit. So I'm just gonna go ahead and top stitch probably on this side just to sew that seam down. I'm gonna iron this part over, and I will do a top stitch there and then show you guys how I insert the string and put the clasp in. So while I'm stitching, I just want to make sure that the seam underneath is lying to this side, so I can feel it with my fingers, but just make sure while you're sewing that you can feel the seam underneath. Now, just to add some finishing touches, I'm going to go down the side seams here and just top stitch those as well. And I will do both sides just because the seam inside is on both sides. So that's just basically to secure it down. Now, just to show you guys, that's what it looks like, and that's why I top stitch, just because it looks a little bit more professional and properly done. Now I need to fold this over for a finishing seam. I'm going to leave about an inch gap just so I can string this stuff through. So I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to fold it over probably, I would say like 3/4 inches maybe. And then I am going to top stitch just around the outside edge. And as you can see here, that's not perfect, and that's why you want to make sure to go through everything, cut off all of your extra stitches, like your longer stitches underneath the reds, that's what I mean. And yeah, just make sure that everything is nice and secure. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this so that I can top stitch around it as the bottom seam. Now I folded it over and I ironed it so the seam is nice and pressed. So I left a gap. I'm going to take my cord and I'm going to string it through and it helps to have something strong and sturdy. So I'm going to pin it with a clip, string it through all the way around the bottom edge, and put in the clips at the end. All right, so I opened up that clip casing, strung that through, and then I just tied the ends. So now I'm just going to work on putting it on there and making sure everything fits. Having some issues. I realized I did not make the string long enough, so I have to try and make it work now. And I got this piece out, but this piece is stuck in there, so I have to string it through. It's tough. Okay, I'm gonna redo the string. So now I'm going to take this and thread the ends of the cord through it. Okay, once that's through, I'm just going to knot the end so that the clip can't slide off. Tighten this as much as I possibly can. And tuck the cord underneath. So this is going to be hanging down. I'm just going to tuck it into the seam underneath. That is what it looks like. And I will film it in better lighting and get the lint off, but that's the final product. Thank you again so much for watching. Please like and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and just keep your eye out for more videos like this in the future.